Hey y'all, I'm Sunny,
And this is Liv.
and welcome back to
Colorful Situations, a conversation about love, marriage, and everything in between. Everything.
And everything?
Everything in between.
Today must be everything.
Everything. This is about these parents of ours. Well, come on, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm actually feeling calm and serene.
You are?
Yeah, kind of my norm, but I keep it there. So I'm green today. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, she go, I'm stop all the time, so I'm red.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. I gotta mess with her. I'm red today.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm red because this topic is one of those topics. That make you want to just ball your face up and then you just get all, But also because I'm sad. This topic came from a person who was very dear to my heart, but not here any longer.
Mm-hmm.
My dad. So I'm a little sad, but in remembering him, you gotta remember all the parts,
right?
And so this part, I would always get as a kid, and now I just get to do it, and he'll just hear everything that I probably didn't say when he was here.
Okay. Well, Dad.
Did it turn red?
Yeah, it's red.
So I'm red.
All right. Well, I guess we'll say this one's for you.
Here we go, Pop. Here we go.
So what is the topic?
So the topic. So my dad, just to give a little bit of background, was a military dude.
Okay.
He was a sailor, very much so a sailor. Always wore his hat. He would always tell you his sailor stories. But very much so militant in the way of military stuff. This is how you had to do things. Even in us making our bed and him teaching us how to make our beds, tuck the corners or whatever, like all of that, right? So in raising us, he would always say, do as I say and not as I do.
How did it make you feel?
Girl.
Red.
Red, because he would be like, Leah, you can't say X, Y. You say X, Y, and Z. Do as I say and not as I do.
So you want to cuss like a sailor when you were a little girl? Part of the problem. Part of the problem. You try to cuss like a sailor when you were a little girl.
I mean, not only that, but just like, hey, don't leave my door open because the electricity is running or the air, and I'm not paying it to what they say. I'm not paying to cool off the outside. But then they leave the door wide open.
Well, I'm thinking the things that you said are things that most parents have said to their kids. Do as I say and not as I do. Close my door.
I never said that.
Are you serious?
I said close my door, but
close the refrigerator. Don't be standing up. Yes, all of that. Well, go ahead. I know it impacts. Listen, our perspectives are different, of course, and different things. The same thing happening because we're gonna have a different perspective, and it's gonna impact you differently. So go ahead with your story.
For sure. I mean, that you do say those things to your kids. Hey, Johnny, bring me the remote.
Right beside you.
Come shut this off. You can get up and go cut out. Yes, but for me, the do as I say, but not as I do, was one of those things like, you're not setting a good example, but you want me to be 100. You want me to be 100 hands down strong. You want me to be honest. You want me to be all these different things, right? Like you want to set the bar for me very high.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't live those examples. And when I highlight them to you, because you're highlighting how you want me to be at this level, you say, well, I don't have to do it.
Because you're a child.
You got to do it.
You're a child. So I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to teach you. Now, don't be looking, first of all, don't be looking at everything that I do. That's why I'm trying to tell you to do the right thing.
Okay.
You're a little person. I'm trying to instill these things into you.
Okay.
These words, you remember it. That's one of the things you remember that he said, right?
Yes, and I hate him.
So I'm just saying. Well, he gave, that was his impact.
Yeah.
That was what he was trying to do. Do as I say and not as I do. And you're thinking now, oh well, yeah, he did that. So he did his job.
You think?
His goal was to get you to still be thinking about this 100 years later.
Well, you right about it.
Okay,
honey, let me tell you,
he reached his goal.
And I think maybe I have said that one time. I don't even know if my kids can even say that I've said that. Kids, if I have, I don't know. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. But it did stay with me so much because of how he did it. And if you knew my dad, his voice was very deep. Very deep. And so it would be very like, that don't even make sense. You know, and then I can't even come back to you as a little person,
right,
to say, that don't make sense.
It didn't make sense to you at the time?
It didn't make sense to me at the time. Didn't make sense to me now. It just did not make sense. Why? Why would you do something? Why would you do something that you're telling me I shouldn't do for the betterment of me? You don't want me to do it because you want me to be better, but you're not going to walk in betterness?
Well, I want you to be better than me because I want you to be better than me.
Well, try to be better.
Listen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already so past the point. I want you to be better than me. So do better than me. So do as I say, not as I do. Because I want you to be better than me. I get that. I get it. But I don't have kids. But I was a kid one time and I got a mama.
And did your mama say that to you?
Yeah, I don't remember none of that. I don't remember. Yeah.
What was one of the things that your mom said to you that stuck out?
I don't.
You don't remember none of them?
My childhood memories left me. A lot of my childhood memories left me at some point. So.
Okay. Well, that's what we're talking about today.
Wait, let me stop you right there.
Come on.
Drop down in the comments and tell us what was that saying that your parent told you when you were little and now you're like, wait, what?
Right.
I want to hear what everybody else.
Or even then you was like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Drop down in the comments and tell us your parents saying. Yes. And even the ones that you're telling your kids now.
That part. Yes. Yes, that's good. And I know we got some good ones down. Yes. I know we got some good ones.
Yeah.
But that's what we're going to talk about today. Just like the things that parents tell their children, or how we're choosing to parent our children. And is it one-sided? Should it be one-sided? Like, I do know that as a mother, I'm supposed to raise my kids up. As my kids got older, I guided them. So I taught them a different way now than I did when they were coming up. Right. But was all of those sayings, was that do as I say, not as I do, was it really the best tactic or the best way to parent somebody? Is there a way now? We know there's not an instruction manual, right? I've made plenty of bad choices in parenting, right? There's not one. So I'm not saying that what my parents did was totally wrong, but is there a better way? And should we be looking at that? Should we be looking at ourselves as leaders to these little people who owe them better examples?
Well, again, with me not having children, I do know that parents are learning, some parents are learning how to be a parent with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, that was back then and that's now.
Yes, that's true.
And also thinking back a long time ago, that was, you know, a different time. Now it's, you know, you ask your children questions. You know, you ask them questions about their feelings. You ask them what they think about this, what they want to do, and give them choices. When back in the day, it was like, yeah, go do this, go eat that, go do this. This is what you're going to be doing. You're not telling me, I'm telling you because I'm the parent and you're the child.
Or little kids should be seen and not heard.
Right. So, I mean, in this day and age where, again, parenting has evolved.
Yes.
To where, you know, things are just different. Not saying that back then it was bad. I mean, I guess you could look back and be like, man, that was crazy.
Shell shock.
Yeah, that was crazy. I had a little PTSD from that. But
a lot.
Ultimately, it was the norm.
Yeah.
You know, now it's a different norm. I mean, for different people. So
yeah, for sure. And you're not a parent, but you have little ones around you at some point. You may have nieces and nephews. So, you know, I feel like even though people haven't really birthed kids, you still may be in a line somewhere to where you're offering advice. And to me, when it comes down to it, that's really what parenting is. Because ultimately, that child is not a reflection of you. I was not a reflection of my dad. And I had to go through and make my own decisions. So no matter what he said, hell, I still probably did what he said, what he did.
Well, as a parent, you don't look at your children as reflections of you, some parts of you. Like you're their foundation and it was your job to put all of this stuff in place. So you don't look at your children as a reflection of you, or you would want them to be a reflection of you.
So at one point I did. At one point it was like, it's my job to guide them, to show them, to make this and do this and be a buffer over here and catch this over there and not let them get this over here. But I found myself, especially with my son, my God, especially with him, I was just covering and catering and coddling and just doing way too much than what he even wanted. Like, I was trying to, and even my daughter, maybe I set standards for her in her life that she feels like now she has to meet because, again, my dad drilled in me this higher standard. So now she's feeling like, oh, I got to meet all these standards and these higher things that we just instilled in them and not really said, you know what? They're their own human being. They make their own decisions. They're going to make their life is going to be different. And when I say reflections of me, is that I want them to think the way I think. I want them to make the decision that I would make. I want them to maybe talk the way I would, go out and get a job the way I would. Like, especially with getting a job, me and my son, we butt heads because, yo, why you ain't out there doing this, calling back and going or whatever? But I had to realize, Mom, that's when you were going to get a job.
Right.
Like now, you want me to go and knock on these people's doors or go to these people's places, and all of them, you just got to be online.
Right.
There's no real interview, or you go to may have one event that you go or drop something off or whatever, and I'm on his head like, you ain't do nothing. Mama, I did apply for a job. No, you ain't did nothing. Because
I'm used to pounding the pavement. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, Olivia would do this. Olivia thinks like this. Olivia, you're a reflection of me. You're going to move the way I move. And that's why I say that they are not, because they have their own minds. They do. And I think that we're here to just cultivate what they have in their minds. And I will say that this day and age, asking and having more of a conversation with your children, or maybe even not even saying what my dad would say, but even explain, yo, I want you to be better than me. Yes, you see me doing this, but this is a bad habit. Smoking is a bad habit. My dad used to smoke cigars, and he would get mad. You smoking in this house.
It's my house.
Here we go.
See, I don't have.
This my house. You don't pay no bills in here.
See, I don't have kids because it's my house. I do what I want to do, but you're not gonna do it in here. What you talking about? See, I don't have kids, so. But to a point that you said where you mentioned what you were telling your daughter as far as like her setting standards and wanting to meet your expectations. You don't think that's a good thing? You don't think that's a part of a drive? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, well, I want you to go and be a doctor, because that's her decision on what she's going to put that high expectation towards. But you just letting her know that I do have an expectation of you to be a good person, to be a professional, to be a professional, to get your degree, to have a career and things like that.
I think that, yes, to say, hey, you can do anything. You can get out there, whatever your mind is to it. If you want to do this plan, what is the plan for you? And let's put standards there for you to get to that.
Right.
But for me to say, hey, you just going to work through it, because these are the standards that my family would do. You just going to get up and keep going. You just going to get up and keep going. You got to act strong, be strong. My mom worked and worked and worked and worked. And that's what they saw. But also, my mom worked and worked and worked and worked until she had 3 strokes. There was no balance in that. You always had to put on a good face. My daughter was raised in a situation where it was like, you're always going to be a lady. A lady does this. A lady does that. A lady, all of these different type of things that are good quality things, but when they're always pushed to the extreme and you can't have an off day ever, this baby, let me tell you, this baby will go to school. School will start. And if she didn't have all her supplies together, she would cry. She would cry because she would have to go down the list and check all the lists that the teacher had said. If she didn't have all that stuff, she was not good. She was not meeting the standard that list would check. She would cry. Every year, she would cry when she went into the next grade. Now, I would say Lily jumped a couple of grades because she was hardworking. And so she was able to test out.
Good job, Lily.
Good job, Lily. So she was with older people, right? So every year she would be like, but what if I'm be with this group that's older than me? And she would just go into this fit. Having a standard like that and holding her and just saying, hey, just push yourself up, keep going. Now in her 25 years, she's like, I'm tired of being strong. And now we know that mental health is a thing, right?
It's real.
It's real. Stress is real. You can't carry the world.
Right. Yeah.
So I do feel like, yes, tell your kids some of these things, but also tell them the real stuff. It is hard. You don't have to carry it all by yourself. You don't have to if you said it here and you come right in here, that's a victory too.
So when you're telling your children these things, or you're trying to mold them or instill different morals into them, knowing that, okay, I gave you what you needed. Now, when you get of age, it's up to you to do what you're going to do with it. Does that where does that fall in the do as I say, not as I do? I'm going to say all of this and, expect you to do this or not expect you to do that.
I think that hindsight is 20/20. And had I known, because you're only going to do what you know. And Dad, Pop, I know you did what you knew.
Yeah.
You did what you knew. Did it make me a good person? It did. And I thank you for it. Could there have been a better way? Yes. Because I only did what I knew.
Right.
Because I only did what I knew. But gotta know your kids. And I feel like paying attention to who they are, Bari get things quick. Snap.
Let's go, Bari.
Bari get it. You know what I mean? So just knowing that he gets it and just knowing that he is an alpha male, I should have let him live in that a little bit.
But, okay.
Come on, let's talk about it.
Because that makes me think about, so you were a single parent.
I was, yes.
This is going into a whole different conversation.
Come on.
So if he did he have a male figure to push him and guide him in those ways? Or was it you trying to do it from a woman's perspective? Now, they say a woman can't raise.
That's what they say.
Okay. So do you think that if he had a male figure in his life that he would have, and not saying that he didn't get all of the things that he needed, that he would have gotten those different things that he needs to be a young man? Or
so he had my pops. Our family is pretty close knit, so he had other men. They were always in church, so he had church leaders and men of church leaders. His dad was there but not there, and that was a lot for him. So he was battling that too. And I think for me, I just felt like I had to be both. I felt like I had to be hard. I had to just be like, okay, no, you gonna do X, Y with him versus, no, come here, hug me, let me love on you. It's okay, because he was hurting. I didn't know how to deal with it or what to do with it. So I just went to doing 2 jobs, making sure he had this, making sure he could play basketball, making sure he could do all of these different things, but didn't stop enough to just say, my baby just want a hug.
And I think a lot of parents, I'm not a parent, but I imagine a lot of parents don't know how to deal with a breakup, a divorce, or just not another person not being there and all, and they don't know how it impacts the child.
Yeah.
How it's going to impact them in the long run, too.
For sure, because I just had to pick up and do things. And then there was little things that was happening in that whole situation that took the focus off of him so much. Or even Lily has that same thing where Lily had someone that stepped in to help raise her, but her biological father was not there. So her experience was a little bit different because she did have someone that was like, okay, I'm Pops. I'm going to be Pops for you. But even with that, with her, she still needed a little bit more because they're both different. They're both different. So do you think about those things? Is it the same way my dad? I just feel my dad was so militant in that, to where you couldn't have your own thought process. Because when he also taught me this thing that you have a voice. When I got ready to say what my voice was, he whooped me.
Shut you down.
He shut me down. Well, why tell me I have a voice and then whoop me? Well, now there's a time and place. So you're trying to teach me, A, speak up for yourself, but then know the time and place, but how you're doing it. Not saying that they're not good tools, but how you're doing it. How do you build somebody up, shut them down, and then say, learn this, that, over there? I'm not thinking about that. All I'm thinking is you telling me to voice my opinion, but every time I do, you whoop me. So now I'm not saying nothing.
Another question.
Come on with it. Let's talk about it.
We probably don't even look like we're going to get into our question. So,
these are good questions, and that's good.
Do you think that, or not do you think, was there a balance between your dad, who was militant, and your mom? Was there, because how I think we talked before how, everybody talk about how opposites attract, but was there a balance where your mom could pick up or teach you these things or show you or how to figure out these things that he was telling you?
So my mom, My dad was very good in loving on my mom, right? But my mom was very good in being a P31, just taking care of the household. Period. That was her job. Take care of the household. But when he did these things, she didn't speak up or she didn't say. Now, they would argue, but we didn't see it. They wouldn't argue in front of us, which some people may say that's a good thing. But I didn't get to see my mom stand up for herself. I didn't get to see that dialogue between them or how they handled things because it was all done behind closed doors. So I don't know if my mom had a balance. I don't know if she stood up for her kids. I don't know.
Well, when I say that, I think your dad says, "Hey, do this," and you say something, you get a whipping. Were you able to go to your mom and be like, and she held you?
No.
And comforted you and talked to you and said, well, he just did this because he loved you. He just did this because you. Okay.
No. And I think that it was because my mom come from a small town in Mississippi. Think about the generations. I'm about to be 50. She's in her 70s. So at that point in time, you stood by your man, and she stood by him in a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have stood by him on. But, it was a unit. They were together. And if he corrected us, then no, she would not come in and say, she wouldn't hug you, nothing, because you got corrected. One time she whooped me and he wasn't there. If I'd said anything or whatever, he wouldn't have corrected her because that's just not what they did. My mom didn't really come from a family that showed affection. She didn't really show affection. But what they had was my grandmother and grandfather were sharecroppers and they bought a lot of land. And so they taught their kids that family was everything. And if you had a shirt, your family got a shirt. If you had food, your family had food. So that was their way of showing you. And that's what my mom did. She just took care of us, took care of everything. But to say she says she loves us now. Like if you get off the phone with her now, she'd be like, I love you. She'll say it 3 times. Thank you, Mom. But growing up, that wasn't a lot of hugs in our home. I'm reminded of a time where in California, the little ice cream man comes around, right? And he's Mr. Bill, never forget him. He's the neighborhood truck. He'll come around. So Bill came down the street, but I was playing and I wanted some ice cream or I wanted some candy. So he went on another corner. So I was like, hey, can I go get some candy from Mr. Bill? Yeah, you can go, but come right back. I get to Mr. Bill and I want ice cream. I just done changed my mind because I could do that. I could change my mind. I get ice cream. I'm sitting at the park. Just eat my ice cream because you ain't ride a bike and eat ice cream at the same time. This car, Pinto, pulls up on me. Get your butt home. Where you been? Because remember, I was supposed to come right back home. I did not come right back home. I ride my bike, skeep my little bike, jump off. My dad was working on a car. He pulls out from under the car. You go in the house. Go in the house. I get the butt whooping of my life. Now, mind you, my dad only really whooped me one time. That one time that he whooped me with that thick belt, if y'all know, with the holes on both sides, tore my butt up. I pleaded and looked at my mama like, oh my God, because my dad had never really whooped me. He didn't really say a word. He just got the belt and just whooped my butt. She come in there with a water bottle, put me on the couch, put that water bottle, and walked out and didn't say not one word.
What was the water bottle for?
A heating water bottle for my butt because he had whooped my butt.
Oh, a heating pad. Okay.
Like a heating pad.
Okay.
But back in those days, it was a water bottle. You put hot water in that plastic water bottle. You never had that?
You talking about that red thing?
Yes.
That's a heating pad. Okay, I got you.
Well, I guess because, you from there too. But for us people that's citified, we just know you plug in the heating pad, but, I call it a water bottle.
I got you. You're right.
Well, anyway, so there was no balance in that. She gonna stand by whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So there was some hard lessons. And were they effective? Because I had no business going somewhere and not coming right back. They were not lessons that I didn't need to learn.
Right.
But could they have been taught a better way? But yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So we talked about that a lot. I had a couple of questions. One of the questions was, should we lead by example? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I would say lead by example, but I do know that sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Just like in talking about your dad, I mean, just thinking he may have been too far gone. He's been smoking cigarettes for years. He don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think leading by example is good, but it can be hard.
It can be. Now I will say that it can be. Being a parent it does not come with any instruction manual. I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. It is hard.
Because you might have to do some unsavory things.
Yes.
As a single parent, as a parent, as a mother and a father of two mothers, you might have to do some unsavory things that you would never want your child to do, see,
that is true.
say, or anything like that.
That's true. So. And the thing is that you just make the best decision at that time.
Yeah.
And you're not always going to make a decision that's going to make them want to be your friend or want to love you. Because sometimes you got to be the bad guy, as my friend has always said. She doesn't mind being one. I mean, sometimes you do. And it is like that. My other question was, how effective is it to raise a child on a statement like that that's just so bold of, I am over here, or I could be a hypocrite? Because to me, as a kid, that's what that came across as. You're just a hypocrite. As a kid, I'm just saying that's how I felt.
I think it still falls under doing the best you can.
Okay.
Because I want you to be better than me. And I don't want you to be better than some of the people that I see out here in the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
So I'm telling you the right thing to do. And it made me think about, sometimes when you go to these different job sites and people they do the training or whatever. People are going to train you. They might train you the right way, but see, they've been there 20 years.
Yeah, they training habits.
When they finish training you, they're going back to do it the way that they know, which works better for them. It gets the job done, so I think I think it's fair.
You think it's effective?
It's yeah. I mean, it's up to you to either go straight, follow the directions, go do the right thing, or you're going to find your own way, just like this 20-year veteran has,
Yeah. I think that it is hard. We already said that. Is it effective? I would say it could be more effective if we did a little bit of both. Where we say, hey, don't do what I'm doing. But also, let me tell you why I don't want you to do what I'm doing. This is a habit that I can't break. And I wish I couldn't. Just be vulnerable enough to talk to our kids. And that's one thing that I don't think we do. I don't think we're vulnerable enough to just say, I'm human. I got some illnesses. This is one of them, and I don't want to pass it on to you because I can't break it.
Yeah, I'll go for that. Instead of feeling like, I think, like you said earlier, I'm grown and I'm the parent. And you kind of have to, like you said, be vulnerable and say something because, well,
come on.
Sometimes people don't have time to listen. I don't have time to be. I do not have time to be giving you this dissertation about what I just told you. Do what I told you to do and know that I'm telling you the right thing to do.
Now, I will say there is timing in that, right? Because I have done that where I have scolded my children, let them cry, do whatever. You go to your room, get that homework done or whatever. And then I come back and wrap around when I do have the time and say, why did that happen? Can you tell me why that happened? How do we not do that again?
I say that's a good look.
Yeah, like, this is what mama wants you to get out of this.
Oh, did you do the line where it's hurt me more than it hurt you? Oh.
Now that's one too. Now.
Okay.
It don't hurt you because you keep whooping me.
I was just asking.
Well, anyway, so we gonna check?
Yeah, so we want to know how y'all feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like some of the things that your parents told you, listening to this, feeling like some of the things that your parents told you and you're now looking back, or you've been looking back over the years saying, why? Mm-hmm. Why? And you still mad about it?
Yeah.
You're in the red.
Or you're telling your kids the same thing
and you still don't know why. Right. And you still don't know why. You're telling your kids the same thing. You still don't know why.
You're in the red.
Yeah. Now, if you, as you've gotten older, you had kids and you realize that some of those things that your parents told you or the way that they did it, maybe it was, you feel like they were wrong, the way that they did it. And you trying to come out of those cycles. You're trying to bring yourself out of those cycles. You're in the yellow because you're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what's green?
And now green is you realize that your parents are just human. And you have had to settle those things with yourself. And stop holding grudges against them because of something that they were just trying to do when they just didn't know any better. You're in green. Because now you're at peace with them and you're at peace with yourself. And you're doing better with your children.
Okay. We'll go for that.
I'm in green.
Are you? Good.
Yes. So now we come to resolve. You got a resolve? Or would you like for me to take it?
I'll say know that your parents are doing the best they can. No, well, you know what? Now, I'm going to go back. Know that your parents did the best that they could in that moment. And these days, it's different. You could do things different. You know, watch enough videos and TV and all this other kind of stuff, how to talk to your kids and ask them what they think and go through therapy and things like that. So just know that they were doing the best that they could at that time. And you can do better now.
Yes. And on that, you can do better. Break the cycle. Mm-hmm. Because you know you can do better. Find a different way. Because it is a different day and time. Do things a little bit different. Break the cycle. If it bothers you, don't put it on somebody. Put something that bothers you on them. Mm. If it bothers you. And then also, when you're trying to talk to your children, remember you were their age once before.
Right.
Remember that they're probably looking at you like, well, mama don't know, because I've heard that. Well, you wouldn't know. Girl, I've been 13 before and I done tried to sneak out the house before.
Been there, done that.
Right. Like, what? Well, mama, you just don't understand how he make. Yes, I do. Yes, I'm married to a woman now, but I do understand how he makes you feel because I've been there too. Right. So just remember when you're taking into account and talking to them and trying to find a better way to communicate with them, take into account where you were, where your mindset was when you were their age. Because everybody is different and different stages is different.
Right. And when you have multiple kids, know that they're going to be different.
Yes.
Know that they're going to be different. You're going to have a good one, a bad one in between, and then one in between that.
Yes.
Know that they're going to be different.
Yes.
So you all know that we are interactive here, and we're going to post these questions down in the comments.
Yes.
Have you ever found yourself doing and saying some of the same things that your parents said to you and you still don't know why? Or maybe you do know why and you still doing it. I don't know. If you did have a light bulb click off in your head or click on in your head and you said, I don't want to keep doing this, did you decide to do something different?
Mm-hmm.
Did you decide to keep doing it? How did you get yourself out of those same cycles? How did you decide? And what are you doing to do something different for your kids?
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yes. So our topic today was do as I say and not as I do. Just those terms and things that you heard your parents tell you that maybe just really did not make any sense. Or just those parenting styles from back in the day and how they really don't apply to today. How are they effective? Should you be an example for your children, right? Or should you just think that you're just this holier person that does not have to live by the same law that you're trying to give somebody else? It's kind of what we talked about. But our result was, hey, know that your parents did the best they could, right? Just so, because sometimes that builds up resentment in hearing these sayings or being raised a certain type of way. So if it did, just know that they just did the best they could so that you can settle that within yourself. Remember, when you're dealing with your children, they remember how you were when you were their age, and know that your children are not the same. So you can't just give everybody that same apple. There may be some foundation for the house, but how you deal with each of them may be totally different. And then ultimately, just make the choice to break the cycle. If it did not work for you, it's not going to work for you too. Right?
Yep. So we want to thank you all for joining us today for this Colorful Situations. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, over at Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
And remember, not all colorful situations are the same, but you have the power to change your view.